Hi,
Hi.
what's up?
Oh, just hanging out. What are you doing?
I can't find my Microsoft Teams. I just switched laptops, I mean MacBooks, whatever, and I can't find my Microsoft Teams.
Oh, that's fun.
Where the hell is it?
Can you search for it?
Like where? In the Launchpad, maybe?
So if you just do Command Spacebar, it brings up like the general search.
Oh
You can
yeah.
just type Microsoft Teams, and it should pull it up. If not, then maybe it didn't transfer over.
So what do I have to do? Download an app or something?
Yeah, just re-download it.
That's stupid. From where?
I guess probably the App Store. Be the best place. If not,
Mm,
you can also. If not, you can also just download it online from Microsoft directly.
oh yeah, I see. That's so annoying.
Yeah.
Where's this freaking thing? Microsoft. Brandon's really not being very helpful at all. FYI.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of on his way out. So,
No, I completely get that part. Sure. Not my fault.
yeah. But I also don't know, like, I haven't heard that there's any sort of like replacement strategy. Like, I haven't heard about any new, hey, we're going to get this new company starting so and so date. It's just kind of like we have no IT solution anymore.
No, they do. They have like a team that they're going to be using.
Oh, well, I haven't heard anything about it. So,
Yeah. I don't, how the fuck do I. Where is it? This is dumb. Like, why? This should be like already on my Microsoft Outlook. What the hell is Teams? Into Microsoft 365, select the menu button. Where's the menu button? And choose Teams. Once Teams loads, select them, save, blah, 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 save them on the download files. Um, where do I choose Teams? What? Where's the menu button? Sure, cool. I'm like an old lady right now. Where is everything?
it's okay.
Where is it? Wait, menu. Where's the menu? Edit, view, message, format tools, Windows. Oh, where's the menu? Oh God, come on, man.
Yeah.
This is so stupid.
If you can't find it, it may not be there.
On Mac, go to the Applications folder and click Microsoft Teams. Why can't I see Teams on my Mac?
This is an on-demand one, right?
Yes.
Yee.
Where is Teams installed? You have to deploy it with your Microsoft 365. If you have 365, you have Teams, essentially.
Basically, that's how it's supposed to work.
So then, about Outlook, saving accounts, maybe? That's not it. What? Come on. You love that little green room.
Isn't it great? Do we have seed questions? I don't remember seeing any.
Yeah, whatever's in that doc is what I got. That's
Perfect.
the thing that you got.
Am I? And I'm not driving the deck, right? Somebody else is.
No, they are.
Perfect.
Come
They
on.
have the thank you slide, and then they have 3 more slides. It's like, what? Okay.
Yeah. How?
Forgot to lock my door. My kid likes to make surprise appearances.
Mm-hmm.
I hate locking my door because I don't want him to ever feel like he can't come in.
Right.
But like, obviously, when I'm on a webinar or something, I can't. I always feel bad. I don't want to like. I'm always nervous he's gonna come knock on the door and be like, "Dad, why is the door locked?"
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm a terrible father.
You know what I used to do? And they were so bad. So when my son was like a year and a half, he started crawling out of his crib, and we were worried that he was gonna like walk up and down the walk up and down the stairs. Hold on a second. Dying. 1 second.
No, it's okay. No dying. Not allowed.
Okay, I think I'm okay.
Yay! You all right?
No.
Oh, Jackie.
Anyway, so we like while he would like walk around the house because he kept crawling out of his crib. So our pediatrician suggested that we lock him in from the outside. So we started locking his door, and in the middle of the night, he would like jiggle his doorknob and try to like get out, and he couldn't get out. And
Kid.
we would watch him on the camera because it was like 2 a.m.
Right.
And he started having some kind of like weird sleep regression. So we started like locking him in, and then we basically like would watch him on the camera. He would wake up in the middle of the night
What size battery?
and he would like go sit in his rocking chair, get a book from the like bookshelf, turn the light on, and start looking at books.
Oh, poor guy. Okay, I'm gonna be like. Sorry, had to get batteries for the bubble machine. But yeah, no, that's so sad. Like we're trying to figure out that too, because like he's starting to like he sleeps through the night, right? But we want to try to teach him to like be able to take the baby lock off his door, so he
Yeah.
especially when he starts sharing with his baby sister. Like if she wakes up in the middle of the night, wakes him up, like we want him to be able to come into our room, right, if he needs to. But also like not just be able to wander outside the room anytime he wants. So
Right.
like, but yeah, we have to lock him in.
Yeah. So then he always like brings up, he's like, remember when you used to lock me in my room? Like, you don't remember because you were like a year and a half old.
Yeah, good times. But yeah. I used my mom. After I moved out, she changed my bedroom into her office at home. And so I
Yeah.
used to tease her about that. Like, didn't touch my brother's room. Like, left everything exactly the way it was in my brother's room. So I used to teach her. I was like, well, clearly I'm not wanted back at home anymore
Yeah.
because didn't even touch his room. It's good times. All right. Well, it's 10 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started.
Mhm.
Do we have like the 15-minute rule, like they have at college campuses, where they don't show up every 15 minutes, then it's canceled?
No.
Dang it.
They paid for it already.
Huh?
They paid for it already.
All right. Well then, yeah, we don't need it. I think it's nap time.
It is.
They started a Teams meeting.
It did.
I just got a notification that a guest started the Imperium Teams meeting. Are we meeting on Teams?
No. What are they talking about?
Do you have it on your calendar?
There's the invitation links. There's two.
Yeah, I clicked on mine,
Yeah.
but it says it's a Microsoft Teams meeting.
No, because I think when Jinx, she like sent this as a Teams meeting in the link.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Let me email that guy. Are they trying to compete with me?
Maybe.
Mhm.
I feel left out.
Mhm. Why is my email like that? That's weird. Oh my god. So weird. My I switched the computer and like now um my signature isn't showing up anymore. Like what? So dumb. Oh my
Did you
god.
switch computers?
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Krishna.
Hey Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm very good.
Good. I'm in need of coffee, but other than that, I think I'm okay.
Oh, tell me about it. Trying to quit coffee and that makes me want coffee even more. Terrible.
Right? Yeah, I blame it on my wife because I was not a coffee drinker until I married my wife, and she used to work in the coffee industry, so she's big into it. So
Oh my God.
she's
Yeah,
corrupted me.
I agree. I just blame everything on my wife that I don't like.
Right,
Easy. Your fault.
This is your fault.
So nice. You guys are so nice. Hi, Krishna. It's Jackie. How are
Hi,
you?
Jackie. How are you?
Good, good. So it's just you, right? We don't have any other panelists, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
At least that's what I've been told. So unless
Right.
there's a surprise package waiting for me.
No. Okay, perfect.
We have somebody off camera.
So we have a deck, right? Krishna, do you want
Yeah.
to
I'm going to share it.
yeah, you're gonna so basically there's a toolbar at the bottom and it'll
Yeah.
show sharing screen.
I'm just going to download a copy just in case Google Slides decide to throw me a curveball. But I will share the Google Slides. Is that a good idea or bad idea on this platform?
So open up start sharing screen and then make it like large.
Okay, hold on. Let me see how to make it large. This question is, what do you see right now? How large is it?
Well, no, I see that you're in Google Slides. If you expand
Okay.
it so that I can't see that anymore, it would work better. I shouldn't see like your toolbar and everything.
Oh.
So I think if you just click like slideshow, like start slideshow or something.
Oh, it just kind of goes. All right.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
Exactly. Just like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting.
This platform is so much better than what we were using. So
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's awesome. Just getting used to it a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. We have time. We have an hour set
I
aside
see
for
how
us.
this works. What is the best way to, interesting. Since I have my slides on the other screen, actually, I don't even need to go to that screen for the way this works. Okay. Let me see. Okay.
I'm looking to see which layout is going to be best. So,
The slides that we sent over, did you guys make any mods to it at all, or is it just?
no, we didn't touch anything.
Okay, no, just because I didn't know if there were supposed to be some D-Zone branding on here. I'm just using the one I have, but it looks
Okay.
like it's okay.
I am the D-Zone branding.
Oh, there you go. Love it. That's what I want to hear.
I'm gonna
I
get a
am the
big
brand.
D-Zone logo tattoo on my forehead.
All right, so maybe I can just do this. Oh, I can. Cool. So I don't even have to look at my other my slides are on my other monitor, but if I look there, it's going to be like, who are you talking to, dude? All right, but I can see them right here. So
I appreciate you say that because we definitely have some presenters sometimes who just like they're staring at another screen. And you're like,
yeah.
who are you talking to?
All right. So the Q&A. What is the best way to monitor, or what? How does this work? Since it's just a webcast, I guess I don't have to worry about Q&A.
So basically, sorry, I'm sick. That's why I sound like this. I don't usually sound like like this. So basically, what we're going to do is Jason's going to introduce you. He's going to introduce the topic, and then from there, you'll basically be driving your deck. You'll discuss what's on the slides, and then you can, if you have any like Q&A that you want to do, I mean, he can just like ask the questions and you can do any answers if you have some seed questions. If you don't have anything, you'll just go through the deck and then Jason will close it out and that's it.
Okay. No, fair enough. Jason, just in terms of when I go through the deck, are you and I doing any friendly banter, or is that absolutely not allowed in this forum?
Friendly banter is totally allowed. We might run into my lack of knowledge, so we might.
Oh no, that's fine.
Something I have no idea what we're talking about. But
so you and I will be exactly on the same level at that point.
Why don't we go through the slides really quick though?
Okay.
If there's something that you want Jason to step in on and you want to have banter, go ahead and go through this with him right now so that he can like review this deck with you and we can sort of figure it out, right?
Yeah. And normally the only reason I ask it, not on the topic, but I like kind of typically when I do this with someone, I'm like, do you know how many apps do you have on your mobile phone? right? And most people don't know. They're like, oh, maybe 100. Yeah, 126. Let's think it right. It's just it's not on the subject, but just on just how married we are to mobile apps, right? So it's just very casual. Like, for example, most people don't think about it, how much an app costs, because we don't have to pay for it, right? But it's really expensive, right? So just on those, I think it's kind of nice to have someone like things like that. Isn't so? Like, for example, this slide I'm showing, right? This kind of says we looked at 1 million apps, and here's the crap we found. What about the apps we use? Like the top 100 apps in the App Store, right? The ones we use, like the whole planet uses every day. How safe are those? Like the Facebooks, they're all of them have pretty much the same issues, right? So just
Awesome. Well, that's
right,
encouraging.
yeah, exactly, right. But we can just talk about it, right? We don't think about it when you're downloading your favorite travel or the restaurant app, right? Because we're thinking, oh, that's convenient, right? That type of banter, really not on the topic, right? The topic is kind of boring, so right. But
Yeah,
I think just the relevance of how relevant it is to our lives these days and mobile apps, and I think is very interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. You know, I typically I'll drop off after the intro and then come back on the outro, but I'm happy to stay on and you know just kind of provide that sounding board for you if that helps. So I'm always happy to banter with people.
You love that. That's your favorite part of like the day, Jason. Let's be real.
I mean, I'm stuck in a cave in my house for 8 hours a day. My only communication is my wife and my 3-year-old. So I mean, you know, sometimes it's nice to get a little human conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I think that would just be nice. Just Jason, this was my thought, is just kind of, you know, just talk about apps and how relevant we are, and the fact that you sleep with your phone, and you know, just I think it really helps drive the point. You got to protect these things, right? Right. So we'll just chat, and just timing wise, I just want to make sure I understood this right. This is essentially 25 minutes. Is that what this is? And then
we could go 25, 30 minutes, whatever you prefer.
I would prefer shorter because I don't think people will. I think people would, you know, zone out after 25 minutes.
You're 100% correct. So
okay,
at 20 minutes, I will cue both of you and let you know. Let's wrap it up.
Perfect.
Okay, I'll set that. So let's just make sure our chat is working right now. So
all right, I just closed that chat window. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. That was
got that. Okay, perfect. Great. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on now live. It's gonna.
Okay, Jackie, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get some water, and then
yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Thank you so much.
Jackie, if he's getting water, I'm gonna run to the restroom real fast.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry about that. The only downside of we have a like nice little office at my house. The only downside is the restroom is literally on the opposite side of the house, so I have to like run through the whole house just to go to the bathroom. Totally a first world problem, but it's like,
I mean, it could be worse. You could be like, you need an outhouse, right? So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, yeah, it's like totally a first world problem, but it's just like gotta go literally run all the way through the house. Just to go to the bathroom.
That's the fight I have with my kids all the time. They're always like, "Mom, hurry up. I need to use the bathroom." I'm like, seriously, we have 3 bathrooms in this house. Like, what are you doing? Okay. So I'm going to, Krishna, go to the beginning of your slides. And I can't hear you.
Can you hear me better?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, it's tuned out of my audio. Great. Let me circle. All right.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to hit live, go live. You'll see a countdown from 10 at the top, and then we'll get started. So here we go. Are you sure you want to? Oh, okay, fine, great. All right, and here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest D-Zone webinar. My name is Jason Cockrum. I'm the Community Engagement Manager here at D-Zone, and we're glad you're here with us. We've got a really relevant and exciting topic for you today, so we're glad that you're here. If you're new to D-Zone, we are one of the world's largest online communities of software developers and experts. We publish all sorts of knowledge resources for developers and really anyone passionate about software development. We've got all kinds of stuff like ref cards and trend reports and thousands of articles written and published by our community. And all this kind of makes us the go-to knowledge hub for software developers all over the world. We also do a ton of great events like this one, and you can find them all at our website at dzone.com/events. You can see past events, on-demand webinars, upcoming events, and they're all on wonderful topics. So be sure to check that out. Joining me today, I have Krishna Vishnubotla. I hopefully said that right. He is the VP of Product Strategy for Application Security at Zimperium. He has nearly 20 years of experience building and deploying software with companies like Merrill Lynch, Bank of America, Accenture, and all kinds of other stuff. At Zimperium specifically, he helps companies develop and deploy security strategies for their mobile applications. And as smartphones and tablets have become basically ubiquitous, especially across the business world, having a great mobile app is vital for companies to engage with their customers. We all use them. We all have them. It's just something that's part of our lives these days. And as we all know, mobile app developers, and probably all developers, if we're being honest, are under pressure to deliver better apps faster with fewer resources. And unfortunately, as is often the case, security is typically a trade-off in this situation. But today, Krishna is going to talk for just a few minutes about some tools and best practices that we can use to secure our mobile apps and prevent bad actors from gaining access to valuable customer and proprietary company data. It's super important. So Krishna, I'm going to go ahead and let you start talking now. So take it away.
Thanks, Jason. Folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As Jason mentioned, my name is Krishna Vishnubotla, and I'm part of Zimperium. And really what Zimperium does is we do 2 things, right? Our vision is to protect mobile endpoints and mobile apps. And majority of my expertise is helping enterprises build secure mobile applications, right? So let's get going. Jason, quick question for you. How many mobile apps do you have on your phone?
Oh, goodness. Gosh, 100 maybe?
Yeah, so I'm worse than you are. I have 126, and I have no idea why I have so many apps. First of all, right? I couldn't tell you what they are, but that's the world we live in, right? I think apps represent, at a consumer's perspective, is productivity, right? Convenience. And for enterprises, exactly the other side of it is business growth and engagement, like you said, right? I mean, if you bought a car recently, you can probably connect. You have an app that opens the door, starts the car, but also you can use it to schedule service, get a loaner, right? It's incredible what mobile apps have done for businesses and us as consumers, right? So when we think about mobile apps, right, everybody has a visual about mobile apps, right? You and I, who have over 100 apps that we have no clue why, have all these kind of apps, right? We have company apps, right? I have Expensify, Zoom, Salesforce. So I have apps that my company push down to my phone that work on enterprise data, but I have on my own personal apps, right? 5 banking apps, music, credit cards, health, you name it, right? And really, what's common to a lot of these apps is they're multifunctional, right? And that essentially means 10 years ago when the App Store was out, these apps did one thing and they did one thing well. Today, these apps don't do one thing anymore, right? Like your Line is a great example. Now you can hear Elon Musk saying Twitter has become a super app. So we have more and more apps becoming super apps, right? So what do? In essence, they'll verify that it's you, like some kind of username, password, biometric, process payments. We buy stuff all the time we don't need. The read sensitive data, whether it's yours, ours, or enterprise data, right? And eventually all of this goes somewhere. I think every time I say mobile app, a lot of people forget that there is tons of infrastructure behind that mobile app that actually makes it so cool and so valuable to us, right? The data you're reading is coming from somewhere. The data you type and volunteer goes to servers somewhere in the world. But as a consumer, you don't care, right? It's nice to be ignorant to all that as long as we get value. But if you look at it from an enterprise and the application developers that are behind it, their view is slightly different, right? They have been tasked with bringing to life a business idea, right? Via technology, via a mobile app that is either productivity driven or growth driven. And they think of it as, okay, there's going to be a cool UX. There's going to be some business logic that's going to do ifs and buts and tell them what to do and give them the information they need. Store the data somewhere, partly in the server, partly on the phone, because we're not going to wait more than 3 seconds for that app to come up or that page to come up, right? It's not. And third-party components is we don't have to build this from scratch, right? This is a great thing about the third-party communities and open source communities is they have built and tested some great pieces of code that they can leverage again. There's no point reinventing the wheel, right? So you have consumers that love mobile apps for convenience and it's productivity, and then you have enterprises that are like, I want my employees to be more productive. We can grow our business and engagement, like you said. But if I said how much do you think it costs to build a mobile app for these enterprises, right? I don't know what your favorite mobile app is. You can pick one. Oh, what is it? Let me just ask you. What's your favorite app on your phone?
Oh God. Oh, favorite?
Yeah. One of your favorites, I should say. I don't think it's fair to say favorite.
Right. I really love the Spark email app. I've used that for a while. Yeah, I really like it.
Right. So one of my favorite ones is Spotify, right? I listen to a ton of music. Yeah. And when we think enterprises and mobile apps, we're generally not thinking about the cost. But in today's world, expensive, right? If the average cost is $300,000, and that was before really not even considering what COVID did to the cost of finding good developers, right? But it's up there, right? This is probably not even considering inflation adjusting, right? So hiring app developers is hard. Finding good talent is hard, right? They're not, we have to pay them well to keep them because we want them to write great code. And then you need hundreds, if not thousands of these to build enterprise apps. I mean, think of banking apps, right? The average banking app has 100 features, 100, right? I probably use 4 of those.
Right.
But
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So because mobile apps now have become the digital storefront for most enterprises, right? Especially if you're consumer facing. And you compete. Your mobile app is your brand. And the features essentially, your mobile app is now how you differentiate yourself, right? We know apps that are cool, we know apps that we don't use, but they're very expensive to build. And if you think of banks, these large enterprises with 1,000 or 10,000 developers, it's expensive. All these developers have different levels of training when it comes to building the app. No fault of their own, right? Our education system doesn't tell you how to write secure code, right? Because I came through that system. It teaches you Java. You can go to write courses on Swift, hybrid, whatnot. But secure coding, you're mostly learning on the job. So there's immense amount of talent of different degrees that is working on the same mobile app globally, right? So cost is front of everything, right? It's on top of mind because we're spending the money before we see the benefit from it. And then there's a 20% fee of maintaining this stuff. Let's not forget that stuff, right? So it gets expensive. And then there's people. And then, so when developers are being incentivized to go to market faster, right? Write cooler stuff, right? They're focused on speed to market. They're not thinking, I'm going to write the best, most secure code on the planet. No, right? I think they're thinking, I want to build cool stuff. I want to build as much as possible, meet my MBO, get promoted, and right. That's the mindset, and that's how their contracts are laid. Now, enterprises are, I think, a lot of good enterprises are starting to give them a lot more training, which is really fantastic to see. Right? What does secure coding mean to the enterprise, and then how can we help you? We see a lot of those programs coming up to speed, and that's really wonderful to see. But for the most part, the pressure on building something quicker, taking it to market faster to realize business goals and outcomes is really why it ends up looking like this. You're like, 70% of my code has been written by somebody else, right? Payments is not new. Authenticating your username and password is not new. So you see a lot of these mobile apps where they're built like Legos, right? You've got like, there is an open source for that. There's a proprietary SDK for that. I can build 60, 70% of this, right? The part of it that you're not going to find is your business logic because you're trying to do something unique. But this is how apps are built. I mean, 70% of this code is most likely somebody else's stuff. Nothing wrong with it, right? But this is where we kind of get into this really rock and a hard place, right? You want me to go faster, build cooler apps, much more differentiated, cool UX, but with the time I'm given, with the cost constraints and everything else, it just makes sense to use third-party stuff, right? And the industry is great at doing that. There's a huge open source industry that supports it. But then the question becomes, you test your stuff and you have some relative degree of surety that, okay, I've tested it. I know what I'm getting into. But if 70% of your stuff is other people's code, how well do you know their stuff, right? I'm like,
right.
There's no easy way, right? Who are you going to really ask? If it's open source, this is a community that's doing their best to give you something amazing. But, right, if you have an issue, you're not going to get the response time you want, especially you're an enterprise, right, who's used to enterprise software type of support. And the other big thing you see a lot of these communities are realizing is, do you even know who's contributing code to these things?
Yeah.
Right. Right? Well, you start going down that road and you're like, wait a minute. It's not like we're certifying them to write code into, right?
Right.
You have all these unknowns that come up and you can't control all those unknowns, but there are solutions where you can say, there's a threshold of risk I would like to stay below. And I need some mechanism of saying, I don't want to compromise my speed to market, but I need a way of assessing and mitigating the risk that I'm taking on in this paradigm of speed to market and development velocity, right? So what we did is we looked at 1 million apps in the store, right? So I think the App Store and Google Store had about 6 million apps right now, which is insane to think about. So we said we're going to look at 1 million of them and see what comes out, right? How these apps are their bread and butter, right? I mean, if you think of some of the amount of money some of these apps make through their mobile, it's insane. So you'd think you want to protect it. But look at the issues that we're seeing, right? People write mobile apps, don't protect their code, right? Which essentially means, think about it. If you spent 9 months building a mobile app and it took $1 million, if I'm a malicious actor, I could spend $150, get a tool, download your app, reverse it, and get access to your source code in 15 minutes.
Gosh.
Right? A year and $1 million, $150 in 15 minutes. Right? Which is
That's
insane
crazy.
right? I mean, we keep thinking there is some guy sitting in the corner in Russia and he has this unique skill set to do this. No, right? This stuff has been commoditized and it's that easy and it's insane.
I mean, and we see stories every other day of like this app has been compromised, this app is facing challenges, all this kind of stuff, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy too, because in a lot of that is one, speed to market pressure, so you can't blame development, right? They're under a lot of pressure. Do they have the right training? And also, we reuse the same stuff, right? The same authentication SDKs you use somewhere are going to be used in most apps because they've been used the most, right? So you see one problem, guarantee you that code has been in probably 1,000 other apps, right? It just hasn't been hacked yet. Right. So you see these areas where you're not protecting your code. Encryption. People think encryption is security, but it's really not true. It's not enough. Not protecting data, right? A lot of apps now, you keep hearing this word cloud native, right? Which essentially means your app is just talking to a cloud infrastructure rather than on-premise, which is great because you can go to market faster. But guess what? A lot of these apps don't configure themselves correctly to the cloud. So all your information in the cloud, I could search for, like searching in Google, and I would get your data. Right? So there are benefits, but when not configured properly, right? When not set up properly, when you don't take the time to check everything, it's craziness, right? It becomes very easy to abuse and compromise your app. Right? This is like you taking your offensive playbook and giving it to the opposing team. Right? You might as well just give it to them at this point.
Right.
And that's the problem. But we don't think of it that way. We think, oh, no one's going to try to steal my code. They have access to why would they steal my code? But
it'll never happen to me.
Yeah. And, it comes down to, do you understand what crown jewels are in your app? That should determine the amount of security you have, right? Things like that. But it's amazing. These are the categories we see all the time. And there are solutions out there to address each of these, right? Now, the 1 million apps we said, well, what if these are not the apps we use every day, right? So we said, let's just look at the top 100 apps in the store. The top 100, right? This is the stores ranking them, saying the most downloaded, the most used, right? So this is probably on 60% of mobile devices. And we said, maybe they're much safer, right?
You'd hope so.
They don't have these issues. So here we go. So we looked at business apps, similar issues, right? Encryption, stuff that's been broken a decade ago, right? They allow audio recording. A lot of these apps don't. What enterprise apps would you give permission to record your audio, right? But we ignore permissions, right? Permissions, I think, is the one thing, including me. I'm so eager to get to the app. I'm like, okay, let's just go.
Right, yeah.
And they know that, right? And this is where we get into trouble.
They're counting on it.
Yeah, and then device IDs, right? All these apps know the serial number, your IP address, and this is just stuff being leaked. What about travel? Right? We all love travel. Credential leakage, right? And think about it. My app knows my payment details. So, so it's insane the amount of issues, and this keeps going. Every app that we use keeps going, right? So where do these real issues come out? 3 places. One, during development. Why we have what we talked about, a lot of developers, varying degrees, making decisions, but don't have something that helps them say, ooh, that decision is going to cost me. Let me find an alternative. Second, once they're published, the biggest misnomer right now is when my app is sitting in the App Store and Play Store, it's safe. No, it's not. Your app sitting in these stores is the equivalent of your code being sitting out there for anybody to poke and prod at. And that's what gets apps into trouble. The third, when the app is running on end user devices like yours and mine, think about what it's exposed to. It's exposed to all my bad habits. I am going to connect to unsecure Wi-Fi's because I want fast connectivity at the airport.
Right.
I'm going to download free games because I'm too cheap to pay for it.
Right.
But they could be malware in these games, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to click on all the stupid links my friends send me, right? But some of them could be phishing, and phishing is proliferant right now, right? So an enterprise app is exposed to the elements on the end user's device. And app developers and enterprises don't account for all these 3 buckets. We account for the first bucket because we do a whole bunch of code scanning, but we don't really account for the other 2 buckets, which are saying, here's how you could get abused and exploited on a mobile device specifically. And that's what I need to watch out for, right?
Yeah.
One of the other traps that you see enterprises fall into is we've come from the world of web applications, and web apps use Java, mobile apps use Java. Let's just use the same scanners. No, right? Code scanning is great, right? It focuses on syntax and semantics of the code, right? It's like Grammarly. It can tell you whether your sentences, your grammar is right, but Grammarly can't really tell you if your overall narrative makes sense, right? So there are different tools that look at your overall binary and say, have you put this together right? Right? Your ingredients are great, but the overall finished product, is it safe? And is it specifically on a mobile phone?
Yeah.
The mobile phone is, you're no longer on your own infrastructure like a web app, right? You are running on somebody else's infrastructure, which changes the game. And it just gets even more challenging. Look at the amount of people involved in getting a mobile app out, right? So it gets complicated, right? It's not that easy to solve, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to start, So if you're going to start your journey, here's kind of how we think about it. Pre-release, get visibility into as many things as possible, right? Get a binary scanner along with a code scanner. See if everything's been put together right. Secure your application's code. Like I said, in 15 minutes, do not lose your differentiation.
Right.
Right? Protect it. Third, runtime visibility. Most of the consumer apps that we have, the enterprises, they're running on millions, if not tens of millions of apps. If someone is trying to tamper, abuse, get some visibility first. Forget about doing something, right? There are tools that'll give you plenty of visibility so that you at least know if someone's trying to abuse or exploit your app, right? Then you can move to helping those apps defend themselves, right? There's runtime technologies where if the app knows that it's getting abused or exploited, it can shut itself down, right? So there are technologies for that. And then securing cryptographic keys. This is a little bit more of a niche topic, but think about if you're going to use encryption, encrypt it with good, proven, validated encryption schemes, and make sure that doesn't break when the device is compromised. And that's a big thing you got to think about for mobile, because there are a million different types of mobile phones with different hardware.
Yeah.
Right? You got to be careful about those things. So at Zimperium, really what we're doing is we kind of understand these 3 buckets of risk, and we are providing solutions to all of these. Because if you really want to protect your mobile app, it's not either or, it's all of these buckets that you have to consider, right? Look at the crown jewels in your app. Look at the impact, what happens if those get exploited or breached, and then figure out how much protection you need. And really what we've come up with is a mobile app security platform that addresses all these issues within a single solution, right? Today, the way the industry and enterprises work is for each of these solutions, they have a different product. So if you're a CIO or an app dev team, you got to maintain 4 to 6 different products, train people, and then you're married to that technology, and that impacts your hiring. But we're trying to take that away, saying, I'll give you a simple platform that abstracts away the complexity, gives you the simplicity, right? And it's practical security. And that's what Imperium does. And the beauty of it is the platform addresses the different problems within your SDLC. So we're not solving one problem and saying, well, sorry, you got to go get another product elsewhere, right? We understand that you have to protect the entire process. And the platform allows you to do that. And it's palatable to all these different stakeholders. And that's what makes our mobile app security platform unique and differentiated, right? And yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, that's really cool. Like, you know, that because we all know that DevSecOps is like it's a whole thing, right? It's not just one particular piece of it, right?
Correct.
And so it's really cool to see. Like, I have so many friends and colleagues who get annoyed with having to try so many different tools to get stuff out the door, you know, and I'm sure they love, like, oh, hey, I can do DevSecOps with one tool, right? I don't have to do it all through different applications and different things. Like, it's all in one place. And to me, it looks like it really helps, you know, because also we all know too that security is a mindset, right? And so it's practices and it's building it in and so having to differentiate that out between so many different tools it makes sense that we lose people, right? But if it's like, oh, I can do all the aspects of security that I need to across my team with one platform, it kind of is a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, and everybody starts with open source. So did I when I was a developer, which is a great starting point. But you will quickly realize for enterprises, it's hard, right? It's basic. You will need to get into advanced attack techniques, coverage, have someone who can support you. And that's why having an enterprise-grade single platform is really valuable. So for anyone watching this, if you're interested, please do reach out. We're happy to kind of help you understand the platform, look at your mobile apps, and provide any assessments possible. Back to you, Jason.
Yeah, thank you, Krishna. I mean, it's, as we talked about, as you mentioned throughout the whole thing, you know, this is so ubiquitous, you know, and mobile apps are just so present. And, you know, like you said, a lot of things you don't think about is people click on the links from their, you know, their email chains that they're a part of, or somebody sends them a funny little, you know, TikTok and they want to click on it or whatever. Like, it's, you don't know what your end users are doing. And so if you miss out on one part of it, you know, your whole thing goes down, right? Like, you can't have, it's like the fjord, you know, you have one little tiny hole in the dam and the whole thing bursts, right? So it's such a relevant topic. And to me, it just seems too, like you said too, when you move to one platform and you remove a lot of those differentiations and those silos, like, you can actually improve your go-to-market time, right? Because you're actually, there's less work to do getting it secured and keeping it secured after deployment. So it's really fascinating. Thanks for sharing.
No problem.
Yes, it's such an important topic, right? I mean, you talk about apps. Like, I know apps that they don't even have really a web application. Like, it's pretty much, you know, you try to go visit the app online and it tells you to go to your phone, you know, download the app, and you're like, wait, I'm gonna, it's crazy.
Yeah, mobile first transformation is huge, and it makes sense, right? Everyone has a phone in their pocket. Why not?
Yeah.
We just need to find the right balance of, you know, security and performance. I think that's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's an old adage from the movie industry that I like to use that I think applies as well to development is, you know, you can make a movie good, you can make it fast, and you can make it cheap, but you only get 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know, and I feel like it's just, but that's why these tools exist. It's like, hey, well, you can do that. Like, you know, we can do all this in one place. So it's cool. Well, thank you again. I think we'll wrap it up there. Appreciate you being a part with us today, Krishna. Always helpful. And thanks for everyone watching. Glad you could tune in and join us. Don't forget to click on our website, dzone.com/events. We've got all kinds of other events there on topics that are really relevant and important, just like this one. So be sure to check it out. And who knows, you might even see us at an in-person event later, coming up soon. So be sure to check that out, see if there's anything there that you want to meet us up at. If you do want to reach out and learn more about Zimperium, you can feel free to contact Krishna. He's on LinkedIn. You can find their information on his website, on the website. So be sure to reach out if you do have any more questions about that. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you next time. Thank you, Krishna.
Thanks so much, Jason. Thanks, everyone.